Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be checking out Ultimate Spider-Man issue 6 by Jonathan Hickman and Marco Checchetto. Spider-Man's first big arc in the Ultimate Universe concludes in a pretty big way, as the issue begins with Peter having to explain his superhero antics to MJ and Richard. I love that they aren't bothering for Peter to keep the secret from his family, thus foregoing the usual drama that comes with that sort of stuff that I think a lesser writer could have used to fuel drama between Peter and MJ. Testing their relationship. MJ might think Peter is like seeing other people or vice versa sort of thing, but I like that none of that's happening in here and we're just getting some good wholesome family stuff. Peter and Harry's relationship grows as well, as both the hero counterparts team up to take on Fisk. Harry is really testing his boundaries with Peter this issue, beginning with breaking into Fisk's penthouse, something Peter is against of course since he has never broken any laws and it's not something he's interested in, but Harry sees it as a necessary evil in order to complete their heroic goals. I really like this early dynamic of Harry and Peter, since Harry is kind of sort of manipulating Peter a little bit, and Peter of course doesn't really know much of what's going on, as is revealed a little later on in the issue when he learns that Harry might have actually interrogated Bullseye, and that's something we actually saw in the previous issue where he actually interrogated him pretty hard and almost killed the man doing so. So I can't wait to see what Hickman does with this dynamic, where Peter obviously is probably going to slowly learn what Harry is up to and turn on him, and thus the Green Goblin will become Spider-Man's arch nemesis. Both heroes confront Fisk and he knew they would be coming, so he has set traps for them, beginning by locking them all into his penthouse and fist fighting the heroes himself. Fisk gets to go all out here and prove that he's not just some big fat dude ruling the city, and he can actually fight, and he absolutely wipes the floor with the heroes since they weren't ready for that at all. We get a real unique look at Fisk here as his clothes end up getting burned off in an explosion, and we see these huge tattoos that just cover his entire body, and I have no idea what any of these tattoos could mean, but the fact that he has them hints at a story. How did he get these tattoos? Where did he get these tattoos? And I hope that one day we actually get to see that story in the future. We get to learn how Fisk learnt to fight or become like this real strong guy that he is. Before Fisk can kill the heroes though, the Goblin's glider blasts the building open and allows them to escape to fight another day. Peter's story to his family concludes, and Hickman just gets right into all of the good stuff with Peter's family, kind of asking questions about how he got beaten up and how he is doing what he is doing and everything. It's kind of stuff that like fans would ask, kind of like, oh, if they know his secret identity, are they going to be kept safe? And it also opens the family up to a larger world, since they had no idea any of this stuff with Fisk was actually happening and they didn't know about it, and now they're starting to question, how did we not know about this? If this is just happening right under our noses, why is no one talking about this? It's really interesting, and I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen with MJ, because she works for Damage Control, which is the Maker's sort of little organization he has keeping tabs on all of these superheroes that were meant to come in this universe. We saw in the Ultimates that they are keeping warehouses that are owned by Damage Control, which are filled with artifacts that would have made heroes like Sentry and Black Bolt and Wolverine and all of these things, and she's working PR for them. So how is this going to change her role in this universe? It's really interesting where this issue takes all of these characters. It's also really refreshing to have an MJ who's not just a fleshed out character, but also a supportive one at that, as she becomes the person who tells Peter to keep doing what he is doing and also gives Peter his Spider-Man code name. And it's a really great way to end the issue, since she can't really understand why Peter can't see that name. Like, he's a guy in a spider themed costume with spider powers. Pretty obvious he can be called Spider-Man. Letting the Parkers know what's going on with Peter like straight away was probably the biggest boon this book has. I like that they're, again, as I said before, forgoing all of that drama of keeping a secret identity. It allows for like a Spider family book, which is what a lot of fans have wanted for so long, but for some reason in the 616 universe, Peter is just not allowed that at all. I have no idea why that is a mandate, but I like here that we actually can get that and we can explore that, and it's just fantastic. Marco Checchetto is back for the issue and his work is just stellar as always. The Fisk fight was brutal, hard-hitting, and paneled expertly, and I loved how Matt Wilson colored it all as well, since he used a more warmer orange glow to the battle compared to the present day stuff, which felt a lot lighter and a little bit more brighter. You know, Peter is with his family. It's a happy time, so it's going to be a bit more brighter. So there's a lot of good stuff in this comic, but there's also a little bit of bad, since as a finale to the first arc, it really powered through quite a fair bit of story, and a lot of it felt like it was just kind of running down a checklist of things left over that had to be getting to before the next arc begins. Like a big villain confrontation, a team up with another hero, and a little bit of family drama there in the end. It's a little strange for Hickman, since he's usually really good at sort of plotting all of this out and balancing it all out so it makes it flow very nicely, but this issue just speeds through all of this and more. Ultimate Spider-Man rounded out its first arc in a rather rushed way, going through a list of things still left on the table for Peter to deal with, while also throwing in a battle with the book's big bad. Peter's family stuff was an absolute highlight of the book though for me, and I can't wait to see more of what Hickman does with this, but hopefully maybe in a little less of a rushed manner. I am going to give this issue an 8 out of 10.